The market is fickle.
Are they? Yeah.
We shall see.
Will they come crashing down at the hands of FlyQuest?
Okay, second game in this best of 3. Disguised have chosen to go for last pick. FlyQuest has opted to play on the red side. Disguised banning out the Varus, the Jace, and the Ambessa. Varus and Jace, remember, were their bans from the first game as well. Over on the other side, FlyQuest going to continue banning out the Pantheon and the Jarvan, and Renekton will also be banned with it. First pick goes to FlyQuest, even though they're on the red side, and that first pick will be Taliyah.
Okay, so since they banned the Pantheon, maybe they go with the Vi to go with that Taliyah. We'll see about that. But the Ryze trade for Taliyah is very probable. DSG, what kind of like split pushing could they build? Maybe they can go for split pushing since their team fights. Okay. Their team fights, honestly, they weren't looking great, Flowers. So maybe just everybody split. Well, they take away the Vi from FlyQuest, so you can't combo with the Taliyah here. That's a start. Okay, so you can split push and they have Vi ultimate to maybe pick people off. They're cooking up something here. Ooh, so when Skarner was first reworked, you were hugely on board. You got to go play test it, you know, early and stuff, and gave feedback and everything. Gryffinn was one of the players that started playing it and spamming it almost exclusively.
Yeah, he knows how to play it
instantly after.
He plays it a lot more than most people do.
Yeah, instantly he was playing it afterwards, and he really does like the kind of bruisery build. You know, going Sterix really early and stuff like that. So I was hoping maybe we'll see him do it because he put a lot of hours into new Skarner. So we'll see if he still does go for it. But Massu on that Jhin, extremely good performance from him on Jhin in week number 1. Very fast Jhin from him, and it's looking like they've got a lot of pick potential themselves here with Taliyah and Jhin. Plenty of playmaking ability.
Okay, confidence too to lock in this Alistar this early.
Yeah, on the bottom side, you've got like Poppy, Braum, a lot of stuff here up and available for Lion.
And at least for Disguised, this time around, you know that they shouldn't be able to bully you in lane as much as they did last time. Alistar is notoriously just not a bully laner at all compared to something like Ezreal or Karma. So Disguised are going to go ahead, pick the Bard up for themselves. Up against Jhin, I feel like Bard is one of those pretty common counter picks because you just see the curtain call lines open up. You fire the Tempered Fate right where he is. He doesn't get any value out of his ulti.
Also, it goes with the theme that we started talking about with Ryze, where you want to like split push and put pressure on side lanes. So you have Bard ults to blow people's flashes, and you've got Ryze split pushing, hopefully, and then Vi can go kill the people that don't have flashes. That Bard has already ulted and burned their flashes off. So a lot of side lane opportunities for DSG. I like this. After game 1, not being able to win the team fights, say, all right, fine, we'll make some picks, some side lane plays, and call it a day.
All right, second half of the draft coming in now as Yunara banned out by FlyQuest, wanting to remove that option there for Sajed, as Xinjiao will be banned out by Disguised. They know that their opponents still need to show their jungler. They've already got the Vi, so they want to get rid of that matchup. What else does Fly want to do here? Do we continue targeting the AD carry pools? As the Mundo is banned out by Disguised, so they do not want to have that unkillable meatball up there in the top side, potentially in the jungle as well. What is our last ban? The Gwen for FlyQuest.
Okay, Gwen, interesting. So they're it makes me think like tank top lane for Gakgos this game maybe. Because you don't want Gwen snipping you. Oh, also it does mean because Gwen could be annoying for Skarner as well, since Skarner is a health stacker. So maybe we do end up getting it from Gryffinn. Maybe.
Okay, Disguised. Got plenty of options honestly for AD carries here, even if the pool is pretty heavily targeted by bans. Honestly, not even that crazy targeted by the bans, just the Yunara and that Varus from the first round there. So Kaisa will be locked in for Sajed.
Yeah, it fully fits this idea that we have with the splitting the map, or spreading out the map for them, so they can follow up on the pick plays with Kaisa instantly, Killer Instinct, and not have to hopefully do too many 5-on-5s where they can get some kills and turn those into objectives. And so here's our tank that we're expecting from Gakgos because of the Gwen ban. Just good old Sion up there in the top lane, and we get the Gryffinn reveal. Jungle last pick, ain't no way we get a competitive Briar.
I highly doubt it. It's a champion that you can't control. And that feels pretty counterintuitive to pro play.
But I
okay, Qiyana. This one, like I'm much more convinced by the Qiyana. We'll get that one here for Gryffinn.
I was already about to go into a spiel about Endless Hunger and Briar and snowballing, and it's pretty fun, but it's hard to do, and I think it was probably tenfold more difficult to do in pro. Okay.
I'm sure it's great fun in solo queue, right?
Yeah,
but in this type of environment, there's a lot more difficulty on that. Final pick of the draft here for Disguised is Rek'Sai in the jungle for Kisno. How are we feeling about Rek'Sai right now, my friend?
Let's go Rek'Ai top lane. For,
Rek'Sai top lane. Sorry about that. Yeah, I misspeak. My bad.
Unless they want to do a last-minute swap and do some bossy tech.
Ooh,
lethality vibe. I'll give you 0.02% Flowers.
0.02.
I'm not closing. I'm not fully closing it yet. I'm not fully closing it yet, but it's pretty far close. I feel like Castle lethality Vi that's a no-go.
Yeah, probably not.
Especially into Sion. I don't think that's happening. But the Rek'Sai into the Sion though is a lane where you can get that slow pressure. Now the thing is, they did nerf Rek'Sai's Fury build on minions. Because they wanted to nerf top lane Rek'Sai while keeping jungle Rek'Sai unnerfed. Thank you so much. I love that, by the way. Bless. So we'll keep track, how hard did that actually make it to build Fury and regen on Rek'Sai? I feel like it's still going to be fine.
Yeah.
And you should still have pressure. And we'll see if it does result in the turret plates that it used to result in this matchup. If Castle's going to be able to push them in, get pressure, have plenty of tunnels for escapes, so you're not really a good gank target, and just regen up and try and get your lead out of minion pushing and tower plates pressure instead.
Yeah, Castle, remember, was the 1 point of strength in the laning phase for Disguised in game number 1. When the rest of the team was behind, it was Castle building an individual lead. We'll see if that Rek'Sai can evolve into the sort of raid boss that Disguised is going to need if they want to fight back against a FlyQuest that beat them, what was it, 14-1, 15-1 by the end of the first game that we had here. It was certainly a rough one there in game number 1 for Disguised, and Sajed was trying to hype up Kisno after that single kill game.
Yeah, the only kill on our team, Kisno.
What's the score? What's the score?
Yeah, what was the score? I actually don't know. 1 to 15?
Wow.
115?
It's not bad.
Damn, you're a beast, Kisno. Yeah, thanks, man.
The carry we need, Flowers.
Exactly. That's good mental. That's PMA right there. Positive mental attitude.
Absolute beast. 100% of DSG kills in the last game. Dude, nerf jungle or what? Like, jungle's OP.
Nobody else can even get one.
That is crazy. Sajed also flashed the FlyQuest emo at the beginning of this game, though. Did you see that? I thought that was nice and wholesome.
Yeah.
A little shout out to his time on FlyQuest. And of course, when Massu got promoted, Sajed is the one who came in and filled, I won't say replaced, because, Massu was going up. It was a promotion.
Right, yeah.
So he came in and filled the spot. And so, yeah, they got a decent amount of time, playing versus and kind of on the same organization. So we'll see. Definitely get some good respect there, especially after game number 1. Little bit of exchange here is going to mean that the barriers are evened up. Cryogen takes a decent amount of damage afterwards, but don't underestimate Alistar sustain either. So it is currently +1 summoner spell for DSG's bottom lane, and with the extra heal.
It must just be so nice to be able to breathe again without Ezreal Karma constantly just pelleting you with these skill shots over and over and over again. As Cryogen going to go ahead, take his first recall here. Massu making sure the entirety of that stacked up wave crashes into the tier 1 turret.
I thought you were going for pelted, but pelleted also kind of works, you know?
I really wanted to do pelted, but my brain wouldn't summon it, so I just made something up.
That works too.
Yeah,
just grab a handful of pellets.
Yeah, just bang, bang, bang.
Got a bunch of ammo. Throwing like bird seed at him.
I'm glad it worked. I'm glad it worked because I was just making crap up.
Count it.
When you talk for a living, sometimes you got to make some crap up.
There you go.
As long as it's believable, as long as it sounds half decent, you're in the business.
Get some bucket of buckshot.
Yeah, there you go.
Good.
Bucket shot.
Throwing it at him.
Kisno secures the top side Scuttle Crab up here with his Vi. Gryffinn had already secured the bottom lane Crab slightly earlier, so Gryffinn will be back out onto the Rift just a little bit quicker. Does have his pickaxe in inventory from that first recall. You can see he picked up an extra health potion as well. Gakgos is down to 400 HP up here in the top lane. We'll see if Gryffinn can do anything to affect this lane state. He is going to move into a tri-brush that is already warded up. Castle trying to get his distance here. Will go into his underground form, see those little blips in the fog, knows that Gryffinn is standing around nearby. Yes, Gakgos does manage to hit Castle with the minion from Roar of the Slayer, but that's not going to do a whole lot.
Yep, and delays a little bit. Gryffinn moving over to Krugs, which doesn't really matter because your second clear is really quick, and so he can just smite Krugs and get over to Raptors as soon as they spawn anyway. So not too big repercussions for any of the time spent up there, or just like, you know, looking. Maybe he didn't have it warded or something. There would be an angle, but no such angle exists. So both junglers right back into their second clears. And we'll just get back to business as usual. Normal laning Flowers. Does it feel nice? Just these quests have been doing their jobs. Everybody in normal lanes and junglers. Even with these Fey lights, I still feel like, you know, I feel very good about the role overall, honestly. And by the way, they did have some stuff in the patch notes about walking back some of the early yellow trinket timers. That buff, I immediately, like, that was, it makes it really easy to keep up plenty of vision with the cooldowns on the yellow trinkets being reduced early. Yeah. But they are walking that one back a little bit, so there might even be more room to play with before ganks early on for jungles in the future.
I do love me some League of Legends without lane swaps, my friend. It just feels, it just feels right. It feels like this is what Mark Merrill originally envisioned all the way back in the day in 2008 or whatever. Like, this is what it's all about right here. As FlyQuest, despite the fact that it's not as dominant as it was in the first game, they still have control over the bot lane here. Very slight lead in terms of farm after Sajed picks up what I would assume is most of this wave. It'll still be about a one-wave lead for Massu. Quad walks into the brush here. Callme immediately finds a lot of damage onto the FlyQuest mid laner. Quad with a flash away, stays alive with 10 HP. Quad dancing on the edge of death with that one, but stays alive.
Woo, he almost fell off the edge there too. That was
he was teetering.
We could get a health point count right there. That was must have been single digits. And then the flash just at the end. If you wait a second, that's level 6 for Gryffinn. Yep, yoinks the crab. Thank you very much. Because his mid laner had almost 0 HP, it's not going to mean he gets to use that level 6 advantage to instantly ult and go for a duel, but is nice to grab the crab all the same. And also is nice for Quad to be able to live.
Yeah, generally you like being able to live in League of Legends. As Callme going down bottom lane here with a Realm Warp. Cryogen immediately ready with the pulverize into the headbutt, disengage, and now flashes out. So Sajed, Callme, and Lyonz cannot catch up any further. So it does cost summoner spells here in the bottom lane. The flash from the Alistar, the barrier from the Jhin, but Callme's attempt does not result in any kills here for Disguise. Nearly 7 minutes on the clock and still no first blood.
Yeah, props to both sides here. I think that's a good time to look for a play here from Callme because they had chunked out mid lane. He had a couple extra seconds. I personally, by the way, think that the biggest change for the new season is home guards. You should be abusing permanent home guards. And so especially champions like Ryze, where you can just run, go base, run immediately down one of the other lanes, realm warp in, and you can make that play so quickly. And then get back to yours in time, no problem as well. You should be abusing that home guard speed, but also pretty well. Wait.
Quad in some trouble again, and this time he does not have the flash to try to get away. Nice use of the supreme display of talent. It was a supreme display of shove right there from Gryffinn. You're not going to get the big explosions on the wall, but you keep your mid laner alive. That's the second time Gryffinn has saved Quad. I did get an update from producers as well. The first attempt on Quad where he did have the flash, he lived with 6. So you were right, single-digit HP.
That was a supreme display of peeling. Yes. Right there, nicely done against the ult peel. So yeah, some good defense from FlyQuest so far this game. The first one was Cryogen. I was going to talk about his peel on the Ryze play, which was a good Ryze attempt, but then also good peel from Cryogen, and it only costing an Alistar flash, I think is a very good price to pay because he has Hex Flash anyways. Massu here goes for a big 4th shot.
Yeah. Sajed not happy about the chunk that he just took to the health bar. 300 HP remaining on him. Also, while the camera was panned up towards the mid lane, you saw Callme going for a recall that was interrupted towards the end of the channel from quad, so messing with his tempo a little bit right there. Callme has been trying to get active on the map, make these plays like you were talking about with the Realm Warp in the bottom lane on that good timing. But losing your recall can kind of slow down those aggressive tempo moves as Gryffinn has started up the Drake, but he's going to be found by Kisno. Gryffinn gets away, but he has to use his flash to do so. Now Quad's coming in, but he rode the Weaver's wall right into danger. FlyQuest moving up behind him, trying to see if they can go in after Kisno. The curtain call opens up. Second shot hits Kisno. Third goes wide. Fourth also missing. Massu going to have to dial those shots in more in the future as FlyQuest and Disguise both look for something. Both walk away empty-handed.
Okay. Who's more empty-handed? Because
everybody's hands is empty.
Yeah, let's get a summoner spell check. Honestly, they're the same amount of empty. They both junglers had to blow their flashes. The Ocean Dragon is so dangerous to start up in situations like that where lanes can collapse with, you know, ultimates like, Taliyah, wall and stuff like that, since the slow. But take a look at the Grubs follow-up. Round number 2 here does look like Gryffinn says, fine, you can have them.
Yeah. Gryffinn, he took the blast cone over the wall. Upon seeing Kisno start to charge that Vault Breaker at him, he says, all right, my bad. Hops back over, just goes back to farming his camps. So Kisno will acquire the Grubs for his team. And this kind of fits into what you were talking about in Champ Select. They want to make the map very wide. They want to play sides. They want to play split. You've got Rek'Sai and Ryze. Void Grubs will feel great for that.
Exactly. Definitely agree in this scenario with this team comp and what they want to accomplish. Now, the other thing that we mentioned they want to accomplish is get Bard roaming around to use his 6 to, burn people's flashes, namely the Taliyah. I mean, honestly, you could just do it in lane 2 and try and, if they can get pressure and burn Massu's flash, either the Taliyah or the Jhin's flash are primary summoner spells here for DSG to try and burn through. And they can then bring Kisno with the Vi ulti. Because, as you know, the dangerous part of Vi ulti is when your targets have flash. So, get somebody else
flash you under a turret or something? It's like, well, okay.
Get somebody else to burn the flash, and then you got some safe, good targets to go after.
Dragon's still alive from earlier, like you were talking about. That slow spit from the Ocean Dragon makes it so deadly
sticky
to go
spit.
Yeah, he's got old, nasty dragon spit. Just so hard to walk through if you're trying to deal with him. The Phallites are down here. The little fairies don't want anything to do with the spit either. Nobody wants to deal with this slow debuff from the dragon. But Gryffinn,
that's why he's green.
What's that?
Hawking loogies at you.
Yeah,
the green
exactly. It's dragon boogers. Nobody wants that. FlyQuest are just trying to get him off the rift so he can go work on his hygiene or something. Disguise thinking about maybe challenging here for this yet again, but no, FlyQuest is not going to overcommit to the Drake. I feel like we really have ourselves a standoff here, Kobe. Nobody's willing to be the ones who make a move that's too aggressive that gets punished, and we're still sitting at 0-0 on the scoreboard nearly 12 minutes in.
Yeah, honestly, props to DSG here after game number 1. I wouldn't blame you if you were worried that game number 2 would go a similar direction and would be another speed run, but completely different scenario here for DSG.
Yeah, Gakgos has his Sunfire fully completed already, considering he's up against an AD lane opponent in the Rek'Sai and also an AD jungler in the Vi. Having that big armor item feels really, really good early on. It's going to make it very difficult for them to try to kill him, and that is your power spike moment. So MasterCard card holders can click on the link pinned in chat for their chance to win $50 in RP. Probably not enough to buy yourself a real Sunfire cape, but hey, it's a down payment.
How much do you think a real Sunfire like?
Probably a lot if it actually catches on fire.
Yeah. You can't 3D print that because it's not going to be fireproof. So.
Right, yeah, you can't 3D print fire. That would be really cool if you could. I would do that. In-game.
It'll be expensive.
All right, FlyQuest with their top laner feeling good, feeling comfortable up there. Griffin's going to move through his own jungle, but Kisno's already waiting for him. The Realm Warp is about to arrive. Callme! Right there, he shows up as soon as the call is placed, and DSG are on the board.
Nice from Kisno here. He immediately went into ultimate animation as soon as as the Q bump finished, and so even though there's a small window for Gryffinn to cast his ultimate to try and self-peel. Vi is already in her ult animation, immunes the knockback, gets the pick, and the follow-up from Callme here. Already immediately coming over as well. Nice little play from DSG. Flowers, those are the types of picks that they're going to have to be able to execute on.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. Vi makes the play. Ryze gets a little bit fed off of it. He's already got his Rod of Ages stacking, and he's working on his tier. It's about 3/4 of the way charged up into that 360 max, where he'll be able to get the Seraph's Embrace as soon as he has all the other components. So Callme's set up in a good spot here. I think that his Azir in game number 1 was very underwhelming. The ultimates weren't where they needed to be in terms of the accuracy or the timing there in the team fights. So being able to have sort of a redemption game here on the Ryze, if they can get him rolling, would be great. Not just for, you know, obviously you need to have a good game to go to a game 3, but just for team morale, for personal, just like feeling in the zone, feeling like you're locked in. Callme's set up for some good success here.
Yeah, make sure there's no tilt.
Exactly. PMA, positive mental attitude.
That's our motto here.
Exactly. All about the mental. Got to stay focused, as we do have our next dragon not spawning for another 3 minutes because it took so long to kill that ocean dragon earlier. It means that the Drakes are going to stack very slowly here this game. 30 seconds on the clock, though, until the Rift Herald spawns. If you're disguised, do you want to scrap for this?
I mean, it depends on the lane assignments, because I really want to keep making picks. I really feel like DSG, you know, Bard Ultimate is ready to fire off, so maybe we go for a dive.
How about a pick onto Quad right there? Disguise just sends in the hit squad, takes out the enemy mid laner. 2 times this game, they've already tried this. 2 times they fell short, but now the 3rd time's the charm. Disguised get their pick 5 seconds before the Herald spawns.
And they knew, because they have a trail of pink wards. Look at it, 3 pink wards. Pixel Brush, Tri Brush, and the brush right behind the tower. So they dropped 3 pink wards here to make sure nobody can see them. And nice little wrap around here. Go for the quick dive. They hit the Q into Bard stun, get their kill, then you can get an objective. Good bounce back game here for DSG. Response though, because Quad has revived.
Yeah, FlyQuest is wanting to answer here at the Rift Herald. Kisno is very low. The Herald is going to go over to the Vi, but now it's already 1 kill for the FlyQuest side. The eyeball is being protected. Despite the fact that Kisno was able to claim the objective, they can't get the reward. Callme tries to get away, but the Realm Warp ends up being his grave. FlyQuest take 2 kills. They guard the eyeball all the way until it's self-destruction, so Disguised will only get the small monetary and EXP reward of killing the Herald.
So that was such an early smite. From Gryffinn. Maybe they had wanted to like combo Force Shot and smite, but the Force Shot had just been used. So yeah, so Massu has Force Shot right here, so he pops it, and then they smite, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, I'll just, you know, queue back in to be able to get the Herald. But Flowers, was that a 5-head bait? Was that a, oh no, I early smited.
He lost the Herald, oh no.
It would be a shame if you came and then smited this Herald away from me, bah, 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 and then they jump on him and kill him.
Well, they definitely got themselves caught back up on the kill scale. 2-2 now, 16.5 minutes on the clock with the next Drake spawning in under 30 seconds. Disguised are looking to seize control over the bottom side river, because right now, besides that Scuttlecrab vision, they have it.
I really want to get a comms listening, because if so, I love that.
If that was actually the bamboozle the entire time?
I love baits like that, you know, where you're trying to use like low health towers or, you know, objectives and stuff like that. And especially objectives like the Rift Herald, which, I mean, there's good value in a Rift Herald with the turret plates being able to give you guaranteed gold as long as you land it. But let's take a look at this dragon fight instead. The setup here, DSG on it. Watch out for Gakgos though.
Yep, the Sion is very, very tanky at this point in time. He's got the Quest teleport for the massive shield here, as well as the Drake is claimed by Kisno and Disguised. Gryffinn trying to get himself away, but a nice Tempered Fate locks him up. Plenty of damage back the other way onto Kisno, but he's not dead yet. Now he is going to fall. Both junglers out of the picture as Callme dies to Quad off on the right here at the same time. Massu under pressure. Castle looking for the kill, but he won't be able to find it. Deadly Flourish locks him up. FlyQuest beats him down. Massu with a kill as Quad is stuck, but it's Disguised who now have to be careful. The roar of the Slayer slows him down from Massu's bullet to find the mark. Lyonz running straight towards the crusty turret, and it will mark his crusty grave. An ace for Gakgos and FlyQuest. Dragon be damned, they got all 5.
All right, we're gonna get a replay here. Does Gryffinn just think his Q is gonna do more damage? Because he ults in and then tries to go for the dragon again. but it's going to be another secure on the objective for Kisno, for Vi. Both junglers end up dying anyways, and end up going down afterwards, but the dragon pickup there is decent for them, is nice. Yeah, you know, then they're trapped in. Is going to be flash over from Lyonz to be able to get the extra kill picked up on their way out. FlyQuest, again, they do get more kills, but that's 2 dragons. Sneaky stacking up here for DSG. Maybe I think Guard's kind of laughing at some of these smites, some of these objectives.
The right side of that fight was a 1v1 early on between Callme and Quad. Quad ends up winning by flashing over the wall and then throwing out the unraveled earth, meaning everybody on DSG has to overcommit to finish the kill. Now Quad does get picked off here in the side lane. Callme and Lyonz working together to grab that kill for themselves, brings the FlyQuest mid laner to 3-3 on kills and deaths. Callme wants to knock down this tier 1 turret. Cryogen is waiting nearby, but the Alistar alone cannot stop this, so Disguised will pick up the first turret of the game 19 minutes in.
And it does go to the Ryze, which is good because their plan is split pushing Flowers, you know, and making these picks. So they make another good pick. They do continue split pushing. They get more money on the Ryze. But I foresee the future Dragons and teamfights still being something that they're going to have to overcome. Alistar is far chasing this guy.
Yeah, he's got a TP coming in trying to help him. Meanwhile, the mid lane tier 1 is under pressure. Weaver's wall from Quad to cut off Callme's escape. He flashes away from the seismic shove. He wants his Realm Warp, and the timing is perfect so that the Alistar headbutt doesn't connect with the Ryze model before the Realm Warp triggers, and that means the Ryze gets away. Callme is safe. Cryogen and Quad's plan is foiled.
Good escape there. Well, rest of the map's fairly calm farming over here, but that is going to make it a little bit more difficult to split push. No flash for the Ryze. I mean, Realm Warp is super local, so that doesn't really matter, but the flash investment, maybe this is an area here now for FlyQuest. Cryogen is right back on the top side of the map. They got to pick themselves. FlyQuest get the kill. Immediately here, Lyonz is down. Massu able to use his ult to follow up and get the kill. Money into Jhin as well. This is dangerous territory.
Ooh, Massu now could be the one in danger as Kisno has found his way onto the enemy AD carry. Sajed finally joins in with a killer instinct. Now Cryogen with a flash over the wall, pulverized, but Sajed gets away with a nice flash of his own. So Disguised, they'll find their pick to make it an even trade after their support gets found in the enemy jungle.
Yeah, Massu down here, no barrier. He didn't actually get the chance to use his flash there. Sajed, meanwhile, using both ultimate and flash for the investment on this kill. And Dragon is a minute away, a little bit over a minute, 15 seconds here for it. So we'll keep our eyes peeled for this. I'd say Ryze, keep split pushing on top side. They do, at the very least, have one ward in that red quadrant of the jungle, so he's trying to keep up some pressure up there. Of course, it's a little bit dangerous without your flash, but he doesn't have too much to be worried about. So try and get the early shove up there first, get your reset right back down to the other side, and just actually swap the Rek'Sai top. Rek'Sai with teleport available. So Rek'Sai here has the teleport available, so you can split up there, no problem, and just wait for the arrival of this dragon number 3. Meanwhile, Quad's going to have to back off from pushing that top side as he does not have his flash cooldown. Actually, has his ult to work with, so with Taliyah passive speed, surfing close to walls, and having the ultimate.
Ooh. Hold on now. Kisno and Callme fighting back against Gakgos and Gryffinn as a TP arrives for DSG. Defensive ulti from Gakgos. Gets himself away from danger, but is knocked below half health. Will have his teleport with that enchanted mega shield from the quest to bring him back into the fight if he needs it. Kisno still looking around, seeing if maybe there's an opportunity there to go after Quad. This is Soul Point. If Disguised can guarantee that they get it, decimating smash from Gakgos, not going to find anything. Was hoping Disguised might have been a little bit too too arrogant in their movement, try to just face check into the brush. They won't do so here just yet. Cryogen goes in for the headbutt pull, only finds it onto the Rek'Sai. Now with a Tempered Fate marking Gryffinn as gold, they take their chance to go in. Gryffinn and Quad now under a little bit of pressure as Kisno and Kaisa were diving in, trying to find the kill, but Gakgos locking up Kisno, looking to take down the Vi. He can't quite kill him here just yet, and finally gets the snap Q to do it. Now Sajed's behind enemy lines. The Kaisa cannot find the assassination here just yet as Castle kills off Gryffinn. The curve call is opened up, but Sajed has superior artillery, and he finds the Void Seeker to kill off Massu. Gakgos and Cryogen still looking to see if there's anything else they can find. Castle still in the enemy jungle, thinking about maybe if he can get away. Quad is not going to get got just yet. Unraveled Earth plus Cryogen work together to take down the enemy top laner. It's a bloodbath here in the mid-game team fight.
Oh my goodness, that was quite the scrap, Flowers. You got to keep your eyeballs on like 3 separate areas of the map to keep track of this team fight. Okay, so bottom side, they go for the engage. Bard ult only hits the Qiyana here. On the top side, you're going to see Kisno and Castle try and go for the kill onto Quad again. They followed up with a knockup, but Gryffinn got his ult off for Peel. Meanwhile, on the other side, on the left side, Massu had to flash away from Sajed, and Sajed tries to go for the kill on him here, but he's able to survive anyway for the side of Massu, and then they blast cone out. It's kind of a wraparound, Flowers, and you're getting the kill here. Opens up the Jhin ult. You're stuck in place, and he knows where you are, so it's an easy snipe there. Sajed gets the W, and we get Hex Gates while the same time as Magical Journey the other way, and people just porting all over the place, and you got the crisscross.
Oh,
wait it.
We're not done yet. Quad and Cryogen going in looking for Sajed. This time a Tempered Fate's going to buy the disguised AD carry only a moment longer as Gryffinn and all of FlyQuest collapse to guarantee the kill. While we were in the replay, FlyQuest also secured that 3rd Drake, so Disguised is not on Soul Point. Their stack has been stopped. Kisno is currently in a very compromised position. If he gets caught here, this is potentially Baron for FlyQuest. That is a massive blunder from Kisno getting caught at this point in the game. It's 20 seconds on Sajed, it's 35 on Kisno, and FlyQuest are going to start up the Baron. Quad just trying to keep Callme away. Lyonz looking for any opportunity to slow this down enough to force FlyQuest off. Castle moving around from the side here, but not really finding a whole lot of anything just yet. FlyQuest do seem a little bit uncoordinated. Gakgos now arriving back into the fight. Baron's down to half HP, but FlyQuest are so low, particularly Gryffinn, that they don't want to risk sticking around any longer, so Disguised will successfully prevent the Baron.
So I want to go over that from Kisno, because given the situation where Sajed just got picked off and you have no AD carry, there is some threat here. So he's probably thinking, I need to get, into a sneaky spot back here behind Baron. Thank you, observers, actually, for showing this ward, because this is what I want to highlight, and that's the area Kisno was walking into. You have to get used to, though, in the current patch with this new, Phaelite spots, that is a extremely common spot for opponents to have warded. That spot that was up by Krugs, and you see there's a control ward there, and that's the control ward that did see Kisno and led to the jungler getting picked off after the Kaisa, and so it's just something you have to get used to, where like there's some really common warding spots now that you kind of have to count on when you're going for these like, I gotta play a little risky right now, and I gotta like threaten Baron steals or something like that.
Important to note, we also saw a Tempered Fate fly out towards Cryogen, a Realm Warp that was going to arrive directly on top of it. So Cryogen had to flash away defensively on the Alistar. We know how powerful flash, headbutt, pulverize combos are for just snap starting a fight. So that's an important tool that FlyQuest will not have. Even if there's not another fight until 2.5 minutes from now for the next Drake, Cryogen's flash should still not be prepared for that fight, or if anything, just then coming up off of the cooldown. So I want to see if Disguised can find any sort of a punish for this. There is Bandle Pipes plus the Zeeks for Cryogen. The Alistar is honestly feeling pretty strong.
Yeah, and then if they're able to ward up the brush like around Dragon Pit, then it makes it hard for the Alistar to like get in a good spot for a Hex Flash or anything. So if you don't have your real flash, it definitely is going to take away a lot of threat there. And if DSG can split push effectively, and then they can utilize that to try and get vision set up in their favor.
So one thing that I'm also seeing here for the next fight, Seeker's Arm Guard unbroken on Sajed's Kaisa. We've been seeing him absolutely unafraid with his killer instincts, and this is going to make him even more fearless if that is possible. He will be flying into the backline. They will be trying to get those assassinations onto Quad or onto Massu, and it's also that much harder for somebody like Gryffinn to achieve his goal of bursting down the Kaisa if he finds the angle. But now it's Callme who ends up getting caught here in the side, just chain CC'd straight to death, and Gryffinn takes the kill.
Yeah, Gryffinn on 3 items here punishes the split push right over the wall. Nicely set up. It's Gryffinn punish right into an easy seismic shove follow-up, and they just delete the Ryze. They take away any of that side lane pressure, and starting up Baron already here. Sion is a giga tank, so Sion can tank that thing, but they're sacrificing their mid tower. DSG, not too shabby of a response there. They get the mid tower and then come over for the contest.
Yeah, DSG taking out the tier 2, now trying to wrap around and find their entry into this fight. Massu is alone away from the rest of the team up here in the top lane.
Flash.
Tempered Fate onto the top laner and jungler of FlyQuest is now they want to try to burst down Gryffinn, and they've already killed him. Sajed takes the kill. The Baron's down to 3,000 HP. Lots of damage into the FlyQuest players already as Quad have to go gold just to stay alive. Disguise may have found their fight. Castle takes Quad out of the picture, and Disguise kill 2 and take the Baron. Cryogen's about to die now for a third. What a massive swing for DSG.
DSG are on top now, Flowers. They've got Baron buff for the split push team. They're going to destroy the map. Oh my goodness, they dissect them. Baron is burning them low right now, shredding everybody. Bard ult sets it up so you get instant knock-up from the Rek'Sai into the Vi follow. And even though they try and peel there and seismic shove, and you've got like Jhin bullets are flying over the top, that's not, you know, that's not real threat, Flowers.
No.
And so they effectively are able to keep the Baron leashed while winning the fight. And just move back over to Baron, finish that thing off because they immediately deleted enemy jungle. Really nicely focused here. They kill off the Qiyana and then Viol right over to the Taliyah. Now we're looking again.
Yeah, Gryffinn wanted to go in there for the supreme display of talent, but he misses. Disguised already, and now they're hitting back. Cryogen's likely to die here. Deadly Flourish flies out, not really going to find a whole lot to try to protect the support. Tempered Fate locks up Gakgos, the tier 2 turret down here in the bottom lane, just barely standing. One auto attack honestly should just be able to finish the thing off. Really huge moves coming out from Disguise. They are not slowing down just yet. That Baron fight, Massu being isolated up there in the top lane by himself where he couldn't approach. Meanwhile, Sajed is in the pit, firing Acathian Rains at everything around him. The difference in the way that the AD carries were allowed to play was massive. And now Disguise with their 5v4 for the next 10 seconds are knocking in the front door of the FlyQuest base. The tier 3 turret in mid lane is down.
Restart that hype train for DSG. Flowers. The train is back on track after a slight detour from game number 1, getting blasted.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, but it shows good mental, Flowers. The good mental here. They were not perturbed by game number 1. Immediately back on track here in this game. That Baron defense from them, nicely focused, you know, surgical removal there of the targets. Delete the jungler, then immediately Viol over to the Taliyah, and they got a lot off of it. Huge gold swing off of that play, and it's Dragon Soul that will be arriving in just about 3.5 minutes here for DSG.
Well, it's not just the Dragon Soul spawning in 3.5 minutes, my friend. It's the next Baron spawn as well, and this always creates very interesting situations. You brought it up in game number 1 when the shoe was on the other foot for FlyQuest being at Soul Point, where it's just like, if you're the Soul Point team, you can say, all right, you'll get the Dragon, I guess. We'll just take Baron, right? And that's not an even trade when they're not getting a Soul for that Drake. We'll see how Disguise wants to play it. Kisno forced to flash away from a seismic shove that would have certainly been his death as FlyQuest scrambled to defend their base now. Disguise wants to make a multi-pronged attack with the remaining little bit of time they have on their Red Bull Baron. It's up to a plus 5,000 gold Baron power play. You talked about the swing being huge, and that is the evidence right there.
All right, let's see if they can finish the job then, because swings are fun, Flowers. Yeah. You're happy when you're out there and there's not a lot of defense, but FlyQuest, they still have the possibility of going for a big team fight at either the Dragon Soul or the Baron. I mean, you basically, you want to keep the vision on Baron and then have the pressure towards the Dragon. And Dragons, the last Dragon is fairly tanky now. They buffed up the tankiness of the Dragons by way of the debuff when every Dragon that you take makes the consecutive ones that much more reduced damage taken. Yeah, beefier. And so it's not like going to be an instant take for mine. I guess still pretty fast. It's a dragon. It's not Baron. But it does give the possibilities here for FlyQuest to, use like Sion ult into Qiyana ult and still have the capabilities of winning a team fight. So while DSG, the hype train has been restarted, they are definitely not out of danger yet. FlyQuest still definitely have the capabilities to win a team fight in order to win the game.
The biggest two individual advantages in this game right now. Castle's Rek'Sai up 2,000 gold. Sajed's Kaisa also up 2,000 gold. Fully completed Zhonya's hourglasses on both the carries for Disguise to be able to get them out of being the primary target for the FlyQuest burst, alongside the fact that this is now Mythic difficulty Ryze. Kobe, he has his Actualizer alongside 2 GG tier mana items. He's got the Seraphs, he's got the Rod of Ages. The Actualizer turns this guy into a monster if he's able to Gatling off some spells during that short activity window. It means that FlyQuest has got to all be on the same page when they make these engagements. They can't be having haphazard fights like the one around Baron where they just got bursted down, where Massu wasn't able to contribute. Disguised is really challenging FlyQuest in this one. Yeah, game number 1, it sucked. 15-1, whatever. Game number 2 is a whole different game, and FlyQuest is this close to losing it.
Yeah, I mean, we got the comms listening after that game number 1. DSG were able to literally laugh it off. They were joking about the scoreline and Kisno having the single kill and being a beast. And honestly, Kisno's done a lot of work this time around too. His smites, getting a lot of these objectives, with the Herald, the Dragon, and of course the Baron was uncontested. But now he's picked.
Up there on the Kisno, right as we're talking about the Tempered Fate keeps him alive for a little bit longer. FlyQuest need to try to get this kill. Ulti from Kisno to try to buffer through some of the CC, but he still dies to supreme display of talent. Castle wrapping around from behind, going after Gryffinn, takes him out. Now Gakgos absorbing some of the damage from the Ryze, but the Actualizer is actually crazy. A double kill for the Ryze. It's Callme, and there ain't no maybe. This man is definitely that Ryze that FlyQuest have to fear. Quad tries to escape. Seismic shove defensively. Flash away. Callme gets the kill anyway. Cryogen and Massu trying to escape, but Castle is on the hunt. Massu forced to run back outside of the walls of his own base. It's only the FlyQuest bottom laners alive. Disguised, looking to push towards the Nexus and take us to a game 3. Disguised, forcing Massu completely out of any sort of defensive position. Cryogen wants to try to do something here, but Castle's already killed Massu. It's Cryogen against all of Disguised, and now not even he stands alone. And Ace goes over to Callme, and Disguised are going to answer FlyQuest in game 2. We're going to a game 3.
Woo! DSG giving us a series in exciting fashion there. At the end, Callme really pumping, and he flashes in to secure the extra kill that ensures they can actually go for the win. Beautiful stuff here. Lounge, now how are we feeling?
I'm feeling great about my predictions.
You know who's
you
not
guys
feeling
made
good?
fun of me.
You did say 2-1. You know
I
who's
did.
not feeling good? Team Liquid Spooks just walked on by. He walked on by because he was ready to play going into this one, thinking it was a 2-game series. Like, nah, another game.